Welcome to Coffee Talk with Sunny and Chief. That's right, we're having a cup of coffee, a little bit of firecracker in here today. Hello and happy Saturday. Yeah, I'm feeling it today, getting my energy back a little bit after a hellish week. Hello and good morning, big bro. I see you, Chris. I see you guys popping in. Stick with us. Coffee Talk with Sunny and Chief every Saturday morning. Today is is it 28, Chief? I ask you every week.
28.
Episode 28, guys. If you've missed our coffee talks, go on my YouTube channel. They're uploaded, I think, with the exception of last Saturday. Thank you for the heart me. Love you guys. You're amazing. You always come in and say hello, and we love having coffee with all of you. I will quickly announce that I don't think we're going to be here for the entire hour, probably like half hour or so. So it's going to be a quick cup of coffee with all of you, but we wanted to do it anyway. Chief has a busy day ahead of him, an exciting day ahead of him. He's going to be chiefing it out there. So definitely don't want to tie him up. But just the same, we made time. Happy to see you all here. Chief, how you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm excited to be here, and it's an exciting day here in Missouri. It's a little drizzly, though. A little drizzly. So I'm hoping that goes away, or it's not drizzly in Rolla. Definitely going down there today to hang out and help them with the tornado relief. If you guys saw last week, I did an interview with Waxy Brown, and he's helped set up big tornado relief in Rolla, Missouri. A lot of sponsors coming out, a lot of bands. They've got like a band every hour from noon to 9 p.m. just swapping around on the bandstand there in Rolla. So that'll be a cool time. Get to meet some folks and hand out some cases of water and do whatever they need me to do.
I wish I could go because that sounds like a lot of fun, actually. And I don't even care if it's drizzling at that point. It's like, what? Enjoy, have an amazing time. I look forward to hearing back on the experience that you have today and all the awesome people you're going to meet. So that's exciting. So we are going to quickly kick off Coffee Talk. Welcome to the live, guys. Episode 28 of Coffee Talk with Sunny and Chief. With a little bit of a recap like we normally do from last night. And, last night's Veterans Live was a little different. We had a lot not show up, but I think people just have stuff going on, and that's okay too. That means you're living life and you're doing other things. But we kind of kicked it off a little bit. I realized that both Sunnyside and 420 Chief, we talk about break stigmas, and actually we're twinning today. That wasn't even planned. We're twinning today. And we talk about break stigmas a lot, but there's still question marks, guys. There's still people like, well, I'm confused. We got Sunnyside of Freedom Mission. We got 420 Chief, what he's doing. We both got podcasts. And then there's break stigmas. Where do you guys fall in? So I did devote some time last night just to ask that question and see exactly where we are as far as, do you guys understand our missions? Do you know what we're doing? Do you know what we're doing collectively? So that's kind of how we kicked it off. So I'll do a little recap on break stigmas. For those that are joining the live, unfamiliar, I'm Sunnyside of Freedom, and this is 420 Chief. We individually have our own missions. We individually have our own podcasts and websites. Yes. And then we came together at the end of 2020, mid 2024, and said, you know what? We're doing some amazing work out here and a lot of the same kind of work. Most importantly, it's very veteran centric to our missions, right? So we decided to collab, and here we are. Break Stigmas was born, our nonprofit. We joined forces to be able to sponsor specific events. Of course, it's so much harder when Sunnyside was trying. And if you've been following my journey, I was solely relying on TikTok to help me raise the funds necessary to fulfill the mission of uniting veterans across the nation. Raffles and so on and so forth. And having the nonprofit just helps us move that along a little bit, get hopefully the attention of those that need to find us and see what it is that we're doing collectively, which is helping our veteran community. And welcome into the live, guys. Welcome to Coffee Talk. So, Chief, I don't know, would you like to add something to that?
I think we're doing more than just helping our veteran community. We're also bridging that gap between veterans and civilians. And I think that we're both involved with that effort. Yourself as a civilian, getting to know, meeting, and uniting veterans, and myself also with demonstrating the proper characteristics to respond and react with civilians. It's a two-part effort if it's going to work out, but more and more folks are showing up, more people are joining, but even more exciting than that is rather than the folks paying to sponsor themselves to go to events, like so many of our veterans were chipping in and on the raffles and donations, and it's not what we really wanted. We don't want those people to be the ones chipping in. We want um, now got it set up so that we can have other companies and other nonprofits help us set up events, but not just network person to person, but network to network or organization to organization, so that we can make a bigger change nationally and even globally.
And globally, yeah, that sounds exciting. Absolutely. Bridging the gap, guys. That's how I got on the platform to begin with and started running a Veterans Live. I said, I'm going to bridge this gap. We civilians need to do better. Our veterans need to do better too. And we need to find a way to meet in the middle so we can have conversation, gain perspective, understanding, because our veterans were feeling like they weren't seen or loved by their civilian friends. And we were feeling like we don't know how to communicate and reach you because there was such a barrier. And we still have those barriers, guys. I still have specific individuals. I just had one last week, you know, and I'm just going to say it, and I was actually, it was during I think it was our roundtable on YouTube when we came together as Break Stigmas. We were having conversation and I was, stating how veterans need veterans, but veterans also need civilians and vice versa. And somebody left a comment in my video and I added that to my TikTok, said civilians. Why do we need civilians? They weren't in war. And then my question always goes back, well, are we still there? We have to find a way to leave the past where it lives and find a way to move forward and grow together, preferably, because it's strength in numbers. It's when we come together that we see the magic happen and improving mental health of so many, just because we have come together. So, with that being said, yeah, we focused on Break Stigmas last night, helping those that came into the Veterans Live who weren't familiar with the mission. Of course, I'll always encourage you guys, if you know of an organization that would love to support and sponsor an event, please send them the website, www.breakstigmas.com. And if you have friends who typically love to donate to organizations, do the same. Share it out to them because they can donate. I even made reference to, imagine if how many followers I have, I don't know, 14,000 something. Imagine if every single one of those followers donated $1. I was joking the other day. I'm like, I'm at the dollar store, Dollar Tree. I'm like, and it's not $1. It's $1.25 or more. So nothing's even $1 anymore. But at the end of the day, a little can go a long way when it's multiplied. Just always remember. And for those friends of ours who just can't because they're in a financial situation of their own, I understand. We understand. Your love, your ongoing support also matters. Any level of support is important. So thank you for that. And then we're going to quickly just segue into how last week was. We went around, the table a little bit. It appears everybody's mental health was really low last week. We had a lot of stuff going on in the universe. And then we had friends that were doing really great. And I'm always happy to see that. Do you want to add to that, Chief, or you want me to keep going?
I can add to that. I did see that myself. I did some extra music lives, just trying to fill it out and see what times work best for everybody to do music, other than just the Monday, Thursday, Saturdays at 7 p.m. So I got on a few times, and that was the consensus: was people, a lot of medical appointments, a lot of folks just saying they really needed it. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I needed it a couple of times this week. And I guess the point of that is it doesn't make the day or the problems go away. It just makes it feel better knowing that there's other people there. You're not alone, and we're kind of all going through something together. But when people show up and just to support one another, that feels good. It's nothing more than just that, than people just showing up and being there. So
Absolutely.
I don't know. It was a rough week, but at the same time, people showed up, and that's a good feeling. and that's something that I look forward to. And I know that if I'm having a rough day, I could get on, do a music live, and so many amazing people will show up. Or I can jump into your live, and it's a good reminder that I'm never truly alone, and you're never truly alone, because so many people, like you said, were going through it last week, and it wasn't an easy week. It was a pretty rough one, to be honest.
It was rough, and you're right. We often, share the message with all of you, which is show up for you, and then you're showing up for others, and that's exactly what that is. Even if you're not feeling it, guys, I had that week. I was like, can I reach a 1 out of 10 this week? Literally, it was hard, man. It was a hard week, but you know what? I didn't even feel like it because I'm like, there's that positivity there, and I couldn't embrace it because I was feeling all other things. But I showed up. I did show up for myself, and I showed up, and I saw all of you, and I saw the love and all the stuff that we do, which is so amazing. You guys are such amazing individuals. The way you just welcome people in, and you make them feel seen, even if you don't know what they're going through. Um, and that's why it's so important. And yes, we appreciate your music lives. Music is therapy, guys. Even if you don't want to talk, you could just sit back. And, there's nothing like having people when you enter a room say, hi, Sonny, love your face, or hey, Chief, appreciate your music. No matter what kind of day you're having, it just feels good. It feels good. And then your cup starts to fill back up. But yeah, last week was a hell of a week. I was relieved when Friday reached yesterday, for sure. I was like, I'm done with this freaking week. Crash and burn. And I had a doctor's appointment too. So everyone had doctor's appointment. It was a dumpster fire. And here we are, smiling, still here, still connecting. And that's what it's about, truly giving meaning to better together. And even when it's freaking hard. So, we don't have too much to add this morning. We definitely always like to show up for you guys, for our coffee talks because they're fun. And it is a shorter coffee talk today, like Sunny stated at the beginning of the live. Chief has to go chief and do some awesome stuff and have some fun today. And we're going to be tuning in, most definitely, Chief, to see what you come back with from that specific event that you're attending today. I wish I was closer because I'd be there for sure.
I think it ties back to what we were just talking about, and that's helping is healing. I know sometimes you don't even necessarily need to talk things out to feel better. I know I didn't. I didn't dump or talk a lot of it out, but just the fact that I was there and other people were talking and saying that it was helping them made me feel better. And so that's what I mean by you never know who you're supporting by showing up. You might not even realize that you just helped someone by dropping a comment or sharing a smile in real life. But a lot of
Absolutely.
folks were going through it and staying positive, and that really pumped me up and got me motivated. Just an example, yesterday I had a rough start. It was mowing season had begun, so I had to do my lawnmower maintenance. It was kind of a pain. Nothing was working like it was supposed to. From getting the blades off to I had to find the right socket. It was a pain, but I got it done, mowed, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take a break and I'm gonna do like just an hour, like a noon vibe, a nooner, and a whole bunch of folks showed up, and it was amazing. Just vibing out together. And again, I wasn't talking about it. I shared my morning, but by the time I got off the live, I had good energy and I was ready to take on the rest of the day. Whereas I could tell after I mowed before I went live, I was like, man, I could easily just rest and then get stuck doing nothing for the rest of the day or doom scrolling or just calling people and texting. But I really did need to get some stuff done. So I was super grateful. And my point is that just showing up and helping is healing. That's what I took away from it because I didn't have to talk it out, but just being there, that feeling that you get when you're able to help someone, even when you feel like shit,
Hmm.
it makes you feel good. And that was one of the key points that Waxy had talked about when we did the interview. He said, when someone wants to help you out, don't tell them no. You could be taking that away from them. Sometimes people just want to help, and that makes them feel good.
Absolutely.
And we have a hard time asking for help. I know I certainly do. Most of the time, I have a difficult time asking for help or, even for financing for events. It's hard to do. But there are people out there that's what they're looking for. That's what their healing is helping. So if somebody wants to help you out, let them.
That's right. Yeah, yeah, actually, we talked about that, but while you were talking, I had this quote come to my head. So I'm going to share it with all of you, my random thoughts. And it is what it is until it's not what it was. I don't know why the hell that just came into my head the way that it did. I don't like to use the phrase, it is what it is, because that means that I'm settling for what it is. And it could be a crap show, right? I'd rather not use that term because it's a term I used to use those words all the time, which meant that I was settling. I was just fine with the way things were. It just means I'm not moving forward. So it is what it is until it's not what it was. That last part right there, it's not what it was means you need to put in the work and you need to keep moving forward. You need to keep getting back up like all of you did this week and you keep showing up. It's so important, even for myself, guys. I struggled this week. My mental health was in the crapper. It just was. And I got so much love from all of you. And even then, I mean, if we're going to be honest and real, it feels good because I'm like, people see me, they care about my well being. But I recognize that even all the love that was being poured into me wasn't enough because I had to start with myself. Okay. I had to make the decision to say, I'm done with this shit. I'm not staying here. I'm moving forward. I'm a fighter. All of those words that we often have to rehearse in our heads. This is not going to, I'm not okay with this. Everything that was happening, and I have to keep getting up and fighting and all of that. And that's when I started to use that as my fuel. And you guys saw me swift, like my gears started to move throughout the week, and you saw my mental health improve, and even in my planks. Look, this morning I did Footloose, guys. And I was thinking about that song to that plank. I was like, really? Are we really there still? Are we really feeling footloose? I'm like, we will be. We will be. And sometimes you do have to throw in a little bit of that fake it till you make it because you need it. And you just never quit and you just keep fighting. And we're just so happy to have all of you consistently coming in. And I appreciate, look, there's 34, 36 of us in here this morning. Good morning and welcome to Coffee Talk with Sunny and Chief. We appreciate you guys being here. We have a lot of coffee talks up where this is episode 28 and they're up on my YouTube channel. They make for good listening. They're about an hour long. Sometimes we talk about family, we talk about trauma, we talk about all kinds of things that are happening in our lives every single day. And sometimes it helps, even myself, guys. If you want to know the truth, I have to go re-listen to those coffee talks sometimes because they help me. I find healing in those conversations, which is going off of what Chief was saying. We find healing in many ways, but we have to open ourselves up to it. Whether it's listening to a podcast, whether it's listening to someone else's story and saying, I'm really not alone. There's other people going through stuff and they're maybe even going through worse stuff. And it gives you that feeling of like, I'm not alone. This isn't just happening to me, around me. Other people are struggling too. And you kind of find courage in that and say, I got this. Come on, let's go. I need to help so and so out. And helping is healing too. One of the things that Sunny said to all of you was, I found a lot of healing in what I do for others. That's the truth. Now, we also talked about this last night. I think our good friend Rain is in here. So I'm going to make reference to her. Just got to be careful not to empty your own cup while you're filling everyone else's. And that, my friend, is the balance. It's saying, wow, I feel depleted. I just helped everybody feel amazing about everything I've done and all those I've touched and how I've, maybe made a difference. But what did I do for me? And I have to consistently make time to breathe, replenish, recharge, all of those things. So be careful to take care of you because you can't pour out of an empty cup and you won't be able to help the next one. So make sure you make yourself numero uno.
And you said sometimes we have to fake it till we make it, like that fake smile turns real after a couple of minutes just
Yeah.
because of neurotoxin or whatever. But for myself, it's really hard to do, especially when you feel like the situation is out of your control or something happens that is completely out of your control. And so for me, it's it's always hard to find that opportunity, or that lesson in it. If it's something that I did or something that I could change in the future, that's one thing. It's like, okay, learned from this, I'll never do that again, or I will do this, or I'll make it different, or whatever. But sometimes it's like out of left field, something just happens, and you're like, what's the purpose of this? And
I
sometimes I
know.
just have to tell myself, kind of like fake it till you make it. But I needed to feel this in order to feel what's next, or I needed to experience this to fully be grateful for what's next, or to even see it.
Yeah.
So convincing ourselves everything happens as it's supposed to, and if it's not, and we can change it, then we have to be honest with ourselves about that and make those changes. But if it's things happening outside of us, like for me, a lot of times it's my kids cause a lot of chaos in my life with their carelessness or their forgetfulness, or they just say things I think they don't really think before they say it. So it's like, what is going on around here sometimes?
Yeah.
And I have to, just trust that it's all happening for a reason.
Awesome. And you're not wrong. Those kids, man, those little crotch goblins, as we call them, oh, we love them. Good morning. Welcome to Coffee Talk. We see you guys. Are you still tapping? Because we need to get to 22K before this live is over. Raising awareness to 22 a day every time we're live. Reading some of the comments, and, balance. Oh, man, balance. Whew. In any area of our life is a struggle, do from the time you have I had too much coffee, have I eaten too much, maybe I haven't had enough, is it time to get busy, have I cleaned enough, have I this enough. It's always that balance that we have to find, and it's not easy. Kids are wonderful, but they definitely throw you over the edge some days. I told you guys, I shared with all of you, I was over the edge with my daughter, and going back to control the controllable. There are just some things, and I had the kind of week where I couldn't control anything, and that threw me off the rails. I like to be in control, to have things run smoothly. I'm realistic, but if I can control something, I'm very proactive, not reactive. So when things happen that make me reactive, I'm like, oh shit, I don't know how to fix this. I have to fix this. And if it's like, what I experienced this week, that whole fight or flight, my heart's out here, it's pounding out here. And I'm like, oh man, and it takes me a while. So what happens in episodes like that, guys, whether it's Sunny or anybody else, when you have specific things that happen or trigger emotions, it drains you. And I felt drained. I felt every emotion like on my skin. I felt anger. I felt hurt. I felt all of it all week long. I was just like, this shit sucks. I not like my positive vibes, you know? And sometimes, yeah, we talk about it like it's easy to say, don't let anything or anyone, take your peace. But sometimes life is happening, and it will, whether you want it to or not. And it's recognizing what's happening and reminding yourself that this too shall pass. I got to get through it. I have to breathe, call a friend, do what you got to do to overcome that. It's not permanent, it's a temporary event that's happening. And just keep fighting, just keep fighting. And we saw that happen here all week. You cried on your live show. Well, I don't know what's going on, Pop, but there's nothing wrong with that. Not at all. Being vulnerable to what's happening means you're being real with yourself and others. That's my opinion. And I think for the most part, everyone here today would agree.
Yes, and I saw someone said something brilliant, and that is, you have to feel to heal.
That's right.
So I think, Pop, I'm proud of you if you are at a point where you're able to show that vulnerability, talk through it, and process the emotion, especially in front of other people. That's pretty significantly advanced, and that helps you to heal quicker. So I'm proud of you for being able to do that, because it's not easy. That's not an easy thing to do, you know,
No, it's
crying, let alone talking out things with strangers. It's hard enough to find people nowadays that we trust enough to even have conversation with, let alone ask for help or have conversation in some of the things that we're struggling with, or asking for advice, because there's so many others that are going through things or that we feel can't relate or can't even help us in any way. And we never really know. And sometimes we don't even need that. It's just hard enough to find people that we trust just to talk, to listen.
absolutely.
And I think that when we start having those conversations and when we start opening up, and we learn the hard way. I know I have to talk to those that listen, because at first, it's like, okay, I'm learning how to talk, but who do I talk to? Or, and it's energy. I think that people match energy. You can see that. You can see that with the Sunny Side of Freedom. You can see that in the music lives with people that are having a rough day, but they come in to feel better. They come in to feel like they're not alone. They come in to support other people even when they're having a hard day. And that's felt. That positive energy is felt, and you can see when it's reciprocated, and you can tell when that's real. And I think that when we're honest with ourselves and we go with that gut feeling and we just talk to those people that are really listening to us, that we feel in our heart that really care, we have better results. And like I said, a lot of the time we don't even need advice back. We just need to talk it out.
Yep.
Like Rain had mentioned earlier, she'll vent and then she'll shut it down. And sometimes that's all we got to do is just let it out and then put on the smile. And along the way, that could have helped someone else that needed to hear that. And if we hear about that, that also helps us heal. So helping is healing, and you have to feel to heal.
Yep.
Facts.
Thank you, Chief. Perfectly said, my friend. Perfectly said. I'm reading the comments in the chat. You guys are amazing, and I see you all. Thank you for coming in this morning, being a part of this conversation, and everything that you're saying in the chat, engaging with each other, because it's all very encouraging. And 100%. I think it was. I don't know if it was Rain or Sugar who I saw leave a comment which stated, once you vent it and leave it, it's like it helps to get it off your chest. I think the hard part about it sometimes is that it takes energy to even vent. And sometimes I tell myself I don't have energy to even talk about it. The truth of the matter is, once I start talking about it, and you got to know who to go to, too, guys. We'll always say this to you: go to the right ears. The right ears that are not there to tell you how to do things differently or make you feel worse when you came to them, but somebody who's compassionate about you, knows you, sees you, understands that you're struggling, can be sympathetic, because they may not understand, but just sympathetic enough to care enough to listen and say, I see you. I see that you're going through a tough time. Thank you for sharing that with me. You don't always need to try to solve someone's problems, are not yours, right? We can offer advice and say, oh, I had a similar situation. This is what I found to help me. Sharing is caring, but you should never tell somebody what they need to do with their life, even if you feel like it. Like, stop drinking. Your life will get better. I promise. Something like that. And you really want to, and you do. But be compassionate when you're listening to someone's story and you don't necessarily know where they are in their journey. But I can reassure you that we all have one and we're all on one, and we are much better together when we can share with one another, offer each other that level of healing. And I see it nonstop, whether it's on Cawfee Talk, Sunny Side of Freedom, 420 Chief, Vibing with Chief. By the way, love the new handles. Let's see if TikTok continues to restrict you.
Yeah, I'm hoping I don't get so shadow banned and restricted. So I did want to call that out. I changed my name from 420 Chief to Vibin' with Chief, because like even people that are associated with me are getting lower views. My son's account, he just said check out 420 Chief. His account's like just locked down. I'm like, oh no. So I'm changed my name to Vibin' with Chief, which is what I primarily do on this application anyways. I think is what people know me for the best, is either the push-ups every day or the music. So I'm going to keep running with that here on the talk so I can keep my account safe. I don't want to get shut down. It takes so long to build these up.
And guys, can I just tell you how hard that is for Chief? Let me just tell you. Here we are. Break stigmas. We should be able to talk about it. And then you come to this crossroad, which is staying true. Always stay true to who you are, right? Me, him, you guys in general. And then it's like, well, if I take away the 420, am I staying true to myself? And then this is the crossroad. Do you continue doing the same thing, expecting a different outcome? Or do you maybe modify it because you're not just helping yourself, you're helping others in the process? And this was, I think, hard for Chief. I'm just going to talk about it like I'm you, but I know you. And I love your face. And I'm like, But yeah, sometimes you have to do those things because it's helping so many more than seeing you gone all together on TikTok. And those are the decisions that are often difficult to make. But vibing with Chief also suits you very well because we vibe with you every time.
And if you want to know more, check out my YouTube or check out my website. That's my passion and what my real mission is. But I love meeting so many folks on here, and I love being there to support people on this application. The music for me is therapy, and for me, it's a way to demonstrate how to use it. And that anybody who's been in the military knows what a Navy chief is. A Navy chief is a deck plate leader, so someone who has to be there, visible and demonstrating what what you're doing. You know, they have that subject matter expertise. So in my mind, as chief, I just want to play music. If I'm having a rough day, I want to show people and tell them, look, I'm having a rough day, but this is how I overcome that, and change that attitude or that mood or that thought process. So if I'm
Absolutely.
came in hard on myself or feeling, sorry for myself or whatever I feel, I come in and people join every time. And even more than that, or even better than that, is people keep showing up consistently over and over and over again. And that shows me that they have good intentions, that they care. It makes me feel that way. And so, in addition to just the music healing, it's like I've got these amazing people around me that are really supportive. And I have a really, really, really hard time accepting compliments or help. Like I said, help, compliments, anything about me, I have a hard time with. And I think, even as a young child, I love my grandmother more than anyone, but sh it wasn't okay to talk about yourself ever. And so, still to this day, I'm like, I don't want to say anything about me, or
Yeah.
I'll quickly redirect that to as a chief, it was always like, oh, well, my guys, my team. And I push that away. And I find I still do that. But I did want everybody to know that you make me feel better. And it is therapy for me. It's helped me countless times. And just so you all know, I get those messages behind the scenes after every single live. And those that are there and those that keep showing up really are helping strangers on this application. And we're not even really, a lot of us aren't even strangers anymore. We've met so many folks through your meetups and even Frizz. I didn't meet him before your meetup, but I felt like he was one of my best friends. He was like one of my safety meeting buddies before we ever met. And when we met in real life, that's exactly what it was in real life. So there's such power to the love and support that we find on here. And that's what I talk about. And I think that you talked about before with matching energy and better together is you can feel that and it's real.
Yeah. Actually, Chief, I think if you guys really want to know, so when Chief and I first met, let's go there. A year and a half ago, going on 2 years before we know it. Year and a half ago, I started Match My Energy, hashtag Match My Energy. Nobody understood what that even freaking meant. Hashtag positive vibes. They were just like, oh, she's positive. Okay. It got nowhere. He was the first person to actually get it and see it and understand it and got down and planked with me. And I was like, oh shit, he's planking it out with me. He gets it. Match my energy. And then he started incorporating that into his messaging. And that's how him and I started talking initially. Like, that's awesome. I appreciate you so much for seeing me as a person because I could see you. I see what you're doing, you know?
How many
And
days ago was that? Today?
well, that's just the planks, 452 days. But we were talking well before that, 6 months before that. But when we started to actually take into calculation our planks, 452 days. Yeah, so there's that. Um, Gee, Chief, I've known you this long. We're going on 2 years before we know it. And you guys are amazing. And so we appreciate your support. But what I want to say to all of you is thank you for being here. You got us at 22K. We're at 27. Keep it tapping. We love you. What a great attendance we have here for Coffee Talk. And if you've been joining us on Coffee Talk, then you know we talk about feelings. We talk about all these things. And Chief just got off talking about feelings. So we got to go there. We just got to go there. Let's go.
What's up, Ink Mama?
Inside my bones, it goes electric, baby, when I turn it on. Off from my city, off from my home. Flying up, no ceiling when we in our zone. I got that sunshine in my pocket. Got that good soul in my feet. I feel that hot blood in my body when it drops. Ooh, I can't take my eyes off of it. Moving so phenomenally. You're more like the way we rock it. So don't stop. It's under the lights when everything goes. Nowhere to hide when I'm getting you close. All right, simultaneously here, Chief. Let's go. So just imagine, just imagine, just imagine. Woo! Let's go. I can see but you when you dance, dance, dance. Feel good creeping up on you. So just dance, dance, dance. Come on. All those things I should do. I love you guys. We had to go there. Of course, we had to go there, even if it's a short live today. I know you guys felt that. I felt. Did you beat me? Did he just freaking beat me? I know what you said too.
I know you love that song, but I think that song.
I'm taking your freaking button away. That's it. You're done. Wait till I come in the studio. Button gone. He just beat me. No, I didn't, Sonny. I beat the song. Anyway. When we talk about feelings, guys, you know, you can't stop the feeling. We're talking about music. We're talking about how it makes us feel. Whether you freaking like the song, hate the song, I don't care what he says. He's moving. He's moving. He's smiling. He's laughing. That means positivity.
I laugh because you really like the song that much. And I think that everybody sees that you love that song. And everybody else is like, you know, I'd love it too when I was 8. But you're out there.
I refuse to grow up. Guys, you're just giving me ideas, Chief. You're just giving me ideas. The next veteran meetup, I'm gonna have them dress up as trolls from the Trolls, and we're gonna do this song, and just as punishment. Oh my God!
I'm bringing my board so I can say, "What the?"
Do you want a purple wig or do you want the yellow one?
I'll work the music.
And I think Big Bro Rob, he'd probably buy them for all of you. He'd Amazon them over to the meetup, and you know this.
With tutus, yeah, he would.
Yeah, he was. We already did the tutus, guys. I had them all in tutus. If you guys don't know, now you do. In the summertime,
have you stopped to think about the shit that you've had us do? Like, I shaved my head bald. So many of us old bald veterans running around to help out with that second meetup, right? And tutus. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yes. Actually, we have some pretty awesome pictures from Pennsylvania where I shaved your head. That was you guys signed up for it though here. I mean, you did sign up for it, so I was happy to do it. So we had eggheads running around. Yes, we did, in tutus, to say the least. But that's how we raised some money for meetup number 2, which was in the month of October. So we do what we have to do. We've come together. We've had fun doing it. I love you guys. Isn't that right, Pris? Everyone had a different color tutu. And then I ran the live and they all danced. To make it even worse, not only were they bald, they had tutus and they danced the YMCA. True story.
Yeah,
It's Saturday morning to you, but we are wrapping up here, guys. Chief has to hit the road. He has an event to go to today. We're going on almost 45 minutes of being live with all of you. I truly do appreciate every single one of you. Keep being amazing. Keep showing up for yourselves and others. And as I started this live, if you believe in the break stigmas and what it is that we're both doing here with the nonprofit, please, if you're not in a position to sponsor or donate, it's okay. You know, share it out to someone who may potentially be interested in the mission themselves. Sharing is caring, whether you're sharing your time, your words, an embrace, whatever it is. We appreciate you. Every time. I love seeing you guys in here. Thank you again for being here and having Coffee Talk with Sunny and Chief. This was episode 28. Sunny will upload this episode on my YouTube channel. Please go to my link tree, easy access. They're all there. I still have to upload last Saturday's and then today's, but everything else is there. Stay tuned for amazing lives to come throughout the week. Tomorrow night, I don't know whether or not you're going to be live tonight. So stay tuned, guys. He may surprise us.
I'm gonna try, even if I'm a little bit late, y'all, because I am an hour and a half away from this event. But I do want to give you an update, and I do want to vibe out. I've got a good list for Saturday night, so we'll see. But I'll be here. It just might be a little later. That's all.
Yeah, and if you can't do it, Chief, we completely understand. Thank you for the stash. And maybe I'll have you go live tomorrow night instead of me. I don't know. Whatever. But we appreciate you and have an amazing day. Share that smile. And get out there and keep doing what you do. You're amazing. You are all amazing. Appreciate you all being here. Have an amazing day. Now get to planking. Share that smile. Stay sunny. Stay spicy. Always make it count. I love you guys. Be good to yourselves. And we'll see you again. I will be back tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, or I'll see you on Chiefs Live as well. Have an amazing day. Now get out there and have an amazing weekend. Bye, guys.